The difference between being prematurely integrated and being a leader or having sexual polarity in your relationship is this. When you're prematurely integrated, a woman has to feel honored by you to want to be with you, right? But when you're a masculine dominant man, a woman feels honored to be with you, right? You got to understand the difference. That's the difference between submission and bot cooperation. That's the difference between tricking and game. That's the difference between transactional sex versus intrinsic desire, intrinsic reward. Now, these are the differences right here. Just to break it down in sort of a quick explanation, when you're a man, you're daddy to that woman. You gotta understand that. You're daddy. If you build a friendship, right, a basis of equality with your child before they grow up, then you're going to have to try and pretend to be an authority figure. Even though you are the authority figure, you're going to have to try to convince them that you're the authority figure later on. And trying to convince them is going to make them not want to believe you, right? So the thing to understand is that establishing masculine and feminine dynamics, establishing your leadership and your masculinity, your influence over a situation, your authority, sexual desire and chemistry and compatibility, establishing those things before you establish something that equates to equality, which is that emotional connection. When you establish those things before a relationship, right? When you establish those things before that, then you can still eventually lead and lead towards a friendship where you two enjoy each other's company. You can laugh with each other, you can joke with each other. But once you snap out of it, once you transition over into this is what we got to do, this is where we got to go, this is what you need to do, and you check that woman, she's going to snap back into, okay, cool, playtime is over, daddy's talking right now, right? That's the difference between it. See, what people don't understand about it is this: as a man, you have a program. Your program is your vision. It's your vision for the relationship, your vision moving forward. What you don't want to do is be in a relationship with a woman, and then as you're trying to go out into the world, you have to spend more time fighting with your woman about things with each other instead of fighting against the world to go forward with your vision. Your vision should be so much bigger than just having a woman who gets along with you a little bit. That's very small minded. Now, that's a lot more than a lot of men are ever going to get. Honestly, it is. But how highly do you see yourself? Take time to perfect your program. Get your vetting process together. Develop some internal values as a man, your masculinity. You develop those things. As you develop those things, you begin to value yourself, you value your seed, you value your resources, you value your time, your energy, your effort, your guidance. You're not giving a woman free guidance. The only thing that she's getting for free is nothing. It's the opportunity to see if her attitude is receptive enough to get some dick. That's it, at first. And the thing about it is this: a woman who's receptive to your masculine energy is going to orgasm too. She's going to orgasm better. Women who are receptive to your masculine energy, most of the time, they're going to be coming from the dick. You ain't even have to do no extra shit. You ain't got to eat the pussy. You ain't got to do all that. You can do that anyways. You know what I mean? Especially if that's a woman whose energy right, she deserves it. She putting some time in. You develop those skills. But you see this narrative about women saying only 11% of women have orgasms with men. That sounds like some wild shit, but I can see where it's true. But a lot of it comes from prematurely integrated relationships. Because what prematurely integrated relationships indicate a lot of the times is transactional sex. You understand that? That's transactional sex. That means the woman's not going to respect you sexually, not going to desire you sexually. She don't respect your masculinity. because you don't value yourself enough to where just a little bit of sex or a beautiful woman, you're willing to bend on your own morals or foundation or mold yourself to a woman just for some sex, for some pussy. She don't respect you. And then two, she don't desire you, because even if she's attracted to you, she has to lessen her attraction and desire for you in her own mind in order to see you from that transactional perspective without losing control. Right? The thing to understand about having your program is that as a man, your program, your vision is your martial art, your sensei. That's your dojo. Right? When she comes into your dojo, she's going to have to invest. The more she invests, the more you teach her, the longer she's there and stays in line and shows effort and promise and talent, the more you're willing to teach her, the more receptive she is. But respect doesn't look the same. You both have inherent value as human beings, so you still have value as human beings, but your value to that situation is not the same. You don't look at a woman as the creator of children. You look at a woman as the incubator of seed. You're giving her your seed to incubate it. That's your seed. Like, y'all niggas read the Bible or whatever it is, right? But listen, we're talking about this subject. Respect doesn't look the same between a sensei and a student, between a sifu and a student, between a master and a student, a master and a novice, and not a master and an amateur. You're the one who sets what your program is. Sometimes you have to check a woman. Just like if you're in a gym or you're in a dojo, she messing up too many times. You're gonna have her do some little shit like this right here, like this right here, to strengthen the smaller muscle groups so that she can properly do that technique without hurting herself or without leaving herself open, right? You may have her stretching and you're stretching her out sexually and non-sexually. You're stretching her out in ways that are uncomfortable for her a little bit. But before you know it, she's used to those stretching, and then she can kick over her head so that she can learn your martial art, right? Like I say, don't get mad at women for not knowing things that you can't teach them. Because if you can't teach it, nigga, you don't know it either. You can't just be demanding. I'm demanding, but I'm saying you can't just be demanding shit that you don't even know how to teach. If the woman is willing and she wants to learn, you should be able to teach it to her. But also know a woman who's just not willing to learn, and she will pretend she doesn't know to get out of it. That can get you caught up. It's just like how I would deal with a child sometimes. You tell them twice, then you grab their hand and you take them over to pick it up. Like if I'm spending time with a little kid, and they start acting up or they spill something, I might say twice, hey, clean it up. And you can tell if they don't know how to, I'm not going to sit there and just clean it up for them and not fix any of the mess. I'm going to walk over to the kid, grab him by the hand. I'm not going to be mean about it. I'm take him over to the mess. I'm going to grab the paper towel with their hands, and I'm going to show them how to pick it up. That's being daddy. I ain't got no kids. I don't, because I protect my seed. But at the same time, these are just some things you need to understand. Part of your program with the woman is showing her how you will raise the children that she has for you. If you're not masculine and dominant, how can she trust you to be a man who's going to properly take care of those children and lead and guide them? It's not all about money. A lot of it is about your mindset. Are you a man of character? Are you going to try to raise children with character? But when she's in your dojo, she's in your program, she starts off as a white belt. Every woman starts off as a white belt, even if she's mastered somebody else's program. Alright, cool, then she may get to the white belt program a little bit quicker. But it's still going to take time. Some of these belts are still going to take a little minute, because you have to see consistency. Everything isn't just about talent either. Some of these dudes have real weak programs. and they're wondering why they're encountering certain issues with a woman. Listen, no woman's gonna be perfect, and if a woman seems perfect, it's just because she's already dealt with a man who's greater than you, and her doing the bare minimum of his program, which she didn't meet up to, or she would still be with him. Doing the bare minimum of his program is enough to meet your low standards, and she's probably going to respect you less because of how low your standards are. So little things that you can teach her. If you don't have nothing to teach her, have nothing to offer after she becomes submissive with you, but she still has to be submissive and receptive enough for you to be able to teach her shit in the first place. Respect doesn't look the same, right? You ain't got to be a unnecessary asshole just to be a dick, just to be a dick. Maybe you got a little funny sense of humor or something. You ain't got to be no dickhead just to be a dickhead. But sometimes you got to push some buttons, right? If you know that she'll work harder when her ego a little bit hurt, sometimes you got to do that. Because what's important is reaching the goal, right? But the main thing is understanding that when you're prematurely integrated, a woman has to feel honored by you to be with you. That's your peers. When you're a dominant masculine man, she feels honored to be with you at all. Her being honored to be with you at all means she already gets validation from being with you, so she doesn't need you to validate her. A woman requiring validation from you means she's in a position where she doesn't get it, she's going to walk away. And the truth is this: you can't be in a position where a woman requires or demands validation from you and be able to check and correct her when she's failing at your program, or when she's starting to backslide a little bit and you're correcting her. Then she's going to think that's an opportunity to try to correct you as well, to try to tell you things she think you're doing wrong. And you listen, of course, but just you let her know, like, just that you don't do that right now, right? That's not what this is. The fact that she feels comfortable with trying to correct you when you're in the midst of correcting her is disrespect. A lot of us, if we try to do that with our parents growing up, we'll get smacked, right? Or we'll get slammed up against a wall. So you can't let her think that that's cool. Don't let her use no bullshit words like safe space or nothing like that. Nah. You take this correction, you fix it, or the consequences that come with it gonna come with it. Because sometimes you have to tell, sometimes if you're a dojo, I'm a boxing coach. Sometimes when you in the gym, if somebody is, they're not working as hard as they usually do. Like, you're not about to fuck up the momentum in my gym, go home for the day, right? If they've been working hard, sometimes say, okay, just hit the bag a little bit, you know what I mean? You can cool out today. Sometimes you just give attention to somebody else who is working hard, and you can spend a whole day training with them. Sometimes you got to put them in the ring so that they can, spar lightly, get their confidence back up if their confidence is low. But sometimes you have to put them in the ring in a situation where they're getting too comfortable and big-headed within themselves, and they got to get their ass beaten by somebody who's better than them. Sometimes you have to be the one to go in the ring and do it yourself. If you're competing and I'm not competing, why should I be able to beat your ass so easily? Get your fucking head in the game. You should be able to beat me, right? You have to take this type of mindset. You're a coach. Like, this is Coach Brody, right? I've been a boxing coach since I was 19 years old, right? I understand something about being a coach. You got to understand that when you're dealing with a woman and she's on your program, it's not about you just trying to be a provider. If you want to be a provider, especially if that woman's having your children and you don't want her to work while you're doing that, cool. But you need to be a coach. It's an even better option, to where she goes and gets resources and she brings them back. Just because your woman's having a kid don't mean she don't have to work at all, right? You can encourage a woman to put her into a position where she can work from home. Maybe doing some, creating an LLC, and then her investing money that you give her or that she has, and investing that money into stocks. And if you get separated, then you just split that money up, into a joint, into an LLC or something. You know what I mean? Put that money together in some particular area and give her the skills to go out there and make you some more money with the money that you give her. You teach her something that's going to be beneficial. Maybe find a woman who's into things that you're into. But she still has to learn first. She still has to go through your process. Even if no business is ever involved, she needs to know how to please you. She needs to know how to suck your dick the way you like without being told. She needs to be able to take your full dick and whatever hole you want to put it in. Right? Hey, listen, I know some of y'all say no, but listen, sometimes when you open a woman up, you break her in, she can take a lot more dick than she thought she could. Right? Whatever hole it is. And a lot of that is about submission. It's about giving in. It's about losing control, about giving over into control and just accepting that some things aren't going to feel that comfortable. But once that pleasure really hits and kicks it off, then she can have an orgasm damn near from whatever hole you put your dick in her body. And some of them that ain't even holes. Of course, we still know about the clit, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. She needs to know how to cook whatever you like the way that you like it. And be able to do those things without you asking or prompting her. See, that's a good girl right there. She needs to be the type of woman who will ask you, right? And this is just things I've experienced. She needs to be the type of woman who will ask you, is there anything I wear that makes you uncomfortable or that you don't like, so I cannot wear that stuff? Because I wouldn't want you to feel disrespected. See, those are things that you want to deal with and encounter. You want a woman who she will give you the option. When she wants some dick, she will give you the option of saying, okay, listen, I can go into work late today, but she wants that dick. You want a woman who you could wake up at any time of the day or the night to fuck, and she's going to be excited about it. Right? You want a woman who, if she gets a little lippy, one who won't, but if she does, that when you interject a little masculine energy into it, you say, shut the fuck up, or who the fuck you talking to? You know, who are you talking to? That immediately snaps, and she either gets contrite or horny, right? And then her feminine energy gets turned on, and it gets triggered, and then she slides back into her feminine energy. Right? These are things that's important to understand. You want a woman who, without you saying anything sexual, she can just look at you or smell you or be around you and she gets aroused. She gets excited. You want a woman who always wants to be up under you. Right? Doesn't mean you have to let her, but she has to want to feel that way. She has to feel that way about you. Because the time where she can't, this time where she gets to miss you and grow her desire. A woman who wants space from you, most of the time is a woman who's not feeling you the way she used to, or you're doing too much. You know, there's different things that could come with that. She has confliction within herself. These are just some things to think about with dom-sub dynamics. If a woman feels honored to be with you, if she feels honored to be with you, then you have the high ground to correct her, to check her, to discipline her. I'm not saying beat her ass. If you have to lose your temper and beat a woman's ass, you already done fucked up. And you already done fucked up. But I'm talking about, you can put her on pleasure denial. You can tell her to go to sleep. You don't like her energy, she's sulking in the room while you're enjoying yourself, go in the other room. I can enjoy my company by myself. Go in the other room. And you just tell her to go. You ain't got to kick her all the way out the house. Let's say she get upset about something. You can shoot her a look. You know, there's something I've done before with different women before. There have been women in my life where they started getting a little lippy, and I looked them in the eyes. I said, look me in my eyes, say my dick ain't good. They immediately shut the fuck up real fast. And they'll make eye contact for a little while, and then they can't make eye contact. They start looking down, or they look into my eyes and start, you can tell they just get wet, and they just submit. They just shut the fuck up. Listen, sometimes you hit a woman with that no more dick. If you can't say no more dick to a woman and that be something that makes her feel some type of way, you don't have the type of power you think you do. And if you have to say no more date to a woman for her to get it right, you probably don't have the type of power you think you do. But at the least, you should be able to have the ability to trigger a woman's feminine energy. And that's going to be another video I'm going to make. You know, a woman should have the ability to trigger a man's masculine energy too, because of sexual polarity erosion. I'm not going to get too deep into that right now. I'm going to talk about that later. But this is Brody. I'm out.